Most agents lose the deal before it even starts. Why? Because they sound just like every other desperate agent begging for the listing. Today, I'm going to share with you 5 powerful lines that you can start using right away that shift the power dynamic, make the sellers lean in, and position you as the authority. And I'm not just going to give you the lines, I'm breaking down the psychology behind each one so that you understand why they work and how to use them without sounding scripted. But before I continue, if you find this helpful, make sure that you like the video and subscribe to the channel. That way I know to make more content like this. So let's begin with the first line. It's not that your property can't sell, it's whether or not you're actually serious about selling. This line is a game changer. So when do you use it? Use this line when a seller is defensive. When you're talking to an expired and they say that they had offers but didn't accept any, or maybe they backed out when the appraisal came in low, or when a seller says that they're just not sure what they want to do. The psychology behind it is called takeaway selling. You're creating scarcity by making it seem like you are qualifying them and not the other way around. It also uses inversion selling, which means you're making them prove to you that they're motivated. And there's a bit of ego trigger and commitment bias here too. If they say that they're serious, they'll feel like they need to back that up with action. Here's an example of the delivery of it. Mrs. Seller, I understand that you've had offers before, but here's a real question. It's not about whether your home can sell. It's about whether or not you're actually serious about selling. Now let's go on to line number 2, which is, at the end of the day, it's impossible to underprice your home. This is perfect for a seller who's stuck on a number above market value that they want to list their home for. It reframes pricing as a strategy and not a loss. The psychology here is challenger sale. You're challenging their assumption about pricing and making them think differently. It also leverages loss aversion, showing them that pricing too high is riskier than pricing strategically. And because you're speaking with certainty, it builds authority positioning. You sound like you know exactly how the market works. Here's an example of the delivery of it. Mr. Seller, even if we price the home at $100,000, we'd get so much activity and offers which we would bid up to market value or more. The point is to generate competition and not scare buyers away. If you're enjoying me breaking down lines like this with the exact tonality and delivery that works, make sure that you join the Dominate Prospecting community. The link will be in the description below. That's where I share my tips first before they even make it onto YouTube. Moving on to line number 3. If I came across a buyer interested in your home, what would you want me to do? This one is gold for sale by owners who tell you that they don't need an agent. The psychology is consultative selling. You're positioning yourself as a problem solver and not a pushy salesperson. It uses future pacing, getting them to visualize a scenario where you're the obvious choice. And it softens resistance because it's framed as a hypothetical and not a pitch. An example delivery would be, I get it, you're selling on your own right now, but if I came across a buyer who was interested in your home, what would you want me to do? Or another example where you can use this line is when the for sale by owner says, I'm not looking for an agent. Trust me, it works. The next line is, whether we work together or not, at least you'll have the right information to make the best decision. Use this when you feel resistance to meeting. It lowers the pressure and makes the appointment a no-risk step. The psychology here is pressure release. It removes the fear of commitment, which makes it easier for them to say yes. It taps into reciprocity. You're offering value with no strings attached. And it builds trust and authority by showing that you're not desperate for the deal. An example of the delivery would be, whether we end up working together or not, you'll walk away with the right information to make the best choice for you. Line number 5, and this one is one of my favorites to use, and that is, well, you did know that was going to happen, right? This is perfect when you are talking to a for sale by owner and they say, I've been getting nothing but calls from agents. It's short, it's unexpected, and it immediately changes the tone of the conversation. So, when do you use it? When a for sale by owner starts complaining about the flood of agents and investors calling and lowballing them. There are a few different psychology styles here. First, pattern interrupt. This stops them mid-thought because they're expecting you to agree or apologize, but instead you challenge them. Next, we have the challenger sale. You subtly educate them on the reality of selling without representation. Next, authority positioning. You're showing you understand how the game works and you're not afraid to be direct. And framing. This sets you up to explain why their current approach is attracting the wrong type of attention, which is agents and unqualified buyers. So, an example delivery would be when they say, I've been getting calls from agents and investors all day. And you respond with, well, you did know that was going to happen, right? Then you pause and you let them respond. Then you bridge into, see, when you list as a for sale by owner, you're basically raising your hand to the market saying, I don't have an agent or representation. The question is, do you want to keep on getting those phone calls, or would you rather be dealing with actual series qualified buyers? This works because it lightly confronts them, then pivots into a more productive conversation about getting in front of real buyers instead of just fielding agent calls all day. So there you have it, 5 power lines, each backed by strategic sales psychology that position you as the authority, flips the power dynamic, and gets sellers leaning towards yes. Remember, it's not about memorizing scripts word for word. It's about understanding the intent and psychology so that you can adapt in real time. If you want me to go deeper and break down even more lines like this with the exact tonality and delivery that works, join the Dominate Prospecting community. That's where I share my scripts, role plays, and live training sessions that you can plug into right away. The link is going to be in the description box below. So with that being said, if you enjoy this, make sure you give it a like, share it with someone else, and remember, confident agents get the listing.